Whenever you come across this tarot reading, there is someone who's gotten some form of karma by something they didn't think they could get karma for. And hear me out here. There is someone who was astrally kind of coming into your energetic field. And yeah, it says sacrifice here. Oh, now for some of you, I'm getting something very specific. It seems like for this YouTube as well, this particular tarot channel, your readings come through so specifically. I'm just like, who the heck is going through this or have been through any of these situations, because it comes through channeled, but so specific, where it says out of body travel. Somebody didn't realize that it doesn't matter what reason, do not come into your energetic field. It says breaking point, very angry. So someone at this point is like, I've had enough. We have revealing the truth here, soulmates, and then telepathy. So let's dive deeper into this reading. Should I give an example? It says no. What I was going to give the example of is, and I can do it in a different kind of way. On the spiritual journey, there are people who like really think it's okay. Where I remember someone asking me of like, do you want me to come up into your space and clear it? I'm like, I'm not, no, like you need much more than my consent for that. You could get my consent, but you need other people's consent to do the rest of that, where there are people like that. Okay. But on a spiritual level, I remember an old friend of mine that was in a Discord group chat of just people who astral travel together. And that's also fine and it's cool. But just like you physically cannot walk up to everyone, those same laws exist in the spiritual and the cosmic. And so what your spirit guides kind of told someone here is like, oh, you need to back up. And there's someone here, though, that it's interesting because it says sacrifice. Why do we have out-of-body travel, sacrifice? There are those that are worth making, and there are those that will destroy you. Did they hire somebody to get a reading or to go into your energetic field? Now, in the beginning of the reading, I said this is someone who got karma for something they didn't realize they'd get karma for. It doesn't matter if you hire someone, the karma is going to come back to you too. And perhaps to the person that you hired. And the person that somebody hired probably knows better how to protect themselves than the person who hired the person. What I'm seeing here, third parties, and then it says family, and it says feeling safe, security. So for some of you, it can be your family. Why do we have sacrifice? There are those that are worth making. There are those that will destroy you. Third party, family, feeling safe. Why do we have sacrifice? There are those that are worth making. There are those that will destroy you. Well, this is, confirmation, fantasy. Make sure the person's right that's coming to you. Where a good practitioner or even tarot reader will always make sure their client is correct. That's something that I do. I will not do, even when it comes to, say, answering about people, etc., is the client actually right? And that's something a good practitioner will always do. Just because they're your client does not mean that they're right. And there's consumerism, and then there's, spirituality, which, now is consumerism and is becoming, say, holistic spiritual industry. But keep in mind, and how do I word this? A good practitioner will say no. Period. And that's what's coming through here. A good practitioner will say no. Nope. I can sense and feel that this is overstepping someone's boundaries, and I don't care if I'm the bad guy. The answer is no, because I can't step out of my integrity, and that is a good practitioner. And so what I see here is someone got karma for what they didn't think they would get karma for. What happens when somebody is wrong? Somebody tried to protect someone else against you and they got hurt, kind of thing. There are those that are worth making. There are those that will destroy you, sacrifice. But there's someone who they may have like gone all the way. You know, this is someone who acted quickly. Be mindful. Be mindful as what if the person, what if it's just an opinion? What if they're actually wrong? And so someone didn't realize that they could get karma by involving other people, or by involving other people. Or being the one, you know, say that was involved, etc. We have jealousy here, and then disregard, ignore, where what somebody had to realize was somebody was maybe being jealous about you. Now, for some of you, this could even be the practitioner that was hired against you, okay, the tarot reader, whatever it may be. But what happens when somebody is like, no, you need to help me, protect me from this person? What happens when it's fantasy, an illusion? What happens then when there is no unsafety and the person themselves felt unsafe? What I see here is the person was actually supposed to ignore it and leave it behind. Somebody, now this is somebody going to someone about you, or I might actually be reading about, say, a tarot reader or practitioner where somebody went to them, but it was coming from jealousy and pettiness. So someone was trying to be petty about you, collective. I'm going to go to whatever, the practitioner, the tarot reader, or I'm reading about, say, the practitioner. And somebody that was jealous went to a practitioner, or someone that was petty. It says rumors, pettiness, being envious, and talking behind your back. This was unwarranted. And that's why there's karma here. It was unwarranted. Be careful, you know, where I remember watching a video many years ago. It's something that I even do as a spiritual practitioner. You have to make sure the client, and I don't want to say is right, but understand that, you know, we all come from our own experience, right? So what happens, say, when you get, I don't know, say someone comes to me, right? I want to get a tarot reading on my spouse. They're cheating on me. I need you to do a spell to break up the third. There's no third party, ma'am, sir. So I'm not doing anything to break up a third party. I wouldn't do it in the first place. I wouldn't do it if it existed. I would tell you to go heal, you know, and not that I would say to go heal, you know, but like, why are we, you know, involving magic with our spouses, right? You know, that's actually something that I would not say recommend those kind of things, you know, like if, say someone came to me, right? Say someone came to me as a tarot reader and they're like, my spouse has third parties. I need you to save me from the third parties and get the third party out of here. What I would first say is, let's reflect on your worth. What got us in this situation? You know, before you pick up any candles, chill out for a second. Is this repeated? You know, like why would you be holding on to something that maybe the universe is telling you to let go of anyway, or that needs healing, etc.? Or the situation where, and I've seen it before, oh my God, say my spouse is cheating me. There are no third parties. This is someone who like really feels unsafe in the relationship, in their body, but there are no third parties. Everything is fine. And that's important. And so for some of you, this is a reading of somebody didn't realize they could get karma by trying to even protect, say, someone else against, you know, you, which was the wrong person, wrong guy. And so it's either one of those, where this could be someone who was trying to help someone against you, and they learned a lesson of, you really need to get all the facts, really make sure before you jump that gun, you know. And then two, this is someone that maybe, say, went to someone about you to protect them against you. And what they didn't realize is they would they were wrong in some way, shape, or form. So let's just dive deeper into this. It could just simply be if they took it the wrong way, they took you the wrong way. And this could be like, say, for example, if something was through text, right? What if you did not write it? 10 as I say that. What if you didn't write it in the way that they thought you did? This person said, I love you, and they didn't put a period after, you know, like that kind of thing, where all parties need to be careful here. Now, what do we have for the collective on out-of-body travel, sacrifice, feeling safe? Why out-of-body travel, sacrifice, feeling safe? Why King of Coins? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, celebration by the end of this reading. Now, why do we have very angry, out-of-body travel, sacrifice? Why the Strength card for very angry, out-of-body travel, sacrifice? The High Priestess over here. Yeah, we're telepathy. Again, what someone didn't realize is you could see them, the Emperor and the High Priestess. For fuming with rage. So, sugar honey iced tea. Someone went through a death and rebirth instead of you. But it was because they had to learn a lesson of... Now, the Strength card could also represent impulse, right? Like to react. Like, say, for example, I don't know. You know, like, say family, right? Say your own children, right? Mom, dad, you know, you're going to react. No matter who it is, right, to protect them. That's what this is. But somebody learned a lesson of make sure that this person's right that you're trying to protect, because they jumped into karma and they got a death card. It's the type of thing where it's like, go get them. And then it was the wrong person. And then everybody runs and it's like, okay. That's what I'm seeing here. And so they tried to get you. They ended up getting a death card themselves. Sacrifice. There are those that are worth making. There are those that are worth destroying you. But what this is also saying is, again, like somebody teamed up, whether, you know, them getting help, you know, or maybe I'm reading for the person who was the help, etc. When it came to you, you taught someone a silent lesson through distance of, was that worth it? You know, like for some of you, it could have been that like they wanted to get back at you. They wanted some sort of retaliation or what they felt was justice. But here's the thing, there was not all sides of the story. It's also the kind of thing of, say somebody hits you 5 times and then say you finally, like, you know, I don't know, not even hit them back. You shoved them back. And then they go running and saying, oh my gosh, please look, they shoved me. Can you please tell them how you hit me 5 times? Like, that's what this reading is saying. Judgment is on them. It's absolutely not on you, even if they were to recruit people here. So I'm going to grab some clarifications. Now, what do we have here for the collective? What do we have here for out-of-body travel? Sacrifice, feeling safe. Why the Magician card for out-of-body travel, sacrifice, and feeling safe? Why the Magician card for out-of-body travel? Why the Page of Wands for out-of-body travel, sacrifice, and feeling safe? Why the Page of Wands, the Sun card, and the 5 of Cups for out-of-body travel? One person's happy here, one person's not. There's 2 people here, but there's a page. Where's the collective's energy in this reading of out-of-body travel, sacrifice, feeling safe? You have the 10 of Cups sideways. Why the 10 of Cups for out-of-body travel, sacrifice, feeling safe? You are so happy. The Pharrell song, 'Cause I'm Happy. 10 of Cups and the Hermit card, where somebody was so wrong about you. You are the best version of yourself. 10 of Cups here, the Hermit card. All right, where this is such spiritual, mental, emotional health, wealth, and balance here with the 10 of Cups and that Hermit. Okay, so you're at a point in your life where like it all comes from you. 144, as I say that, you know, your joy, your everything. This is good health, this is wealth, this is joy. You've got it all within you here with the Hermit card. Okay, so that's your energy in this reading. But what this could also be is like people that you don't have the right to spy if there's no right to spy. And sometimes you are not the judge of what that right is. Where some, people can be wrong. Anybody, right? Say, for example, I don't know, just somebody thinks you're looking in their energetic field. Guess what? You were wrong. And now there's karma for going into the collective's energetic field for thinking that they were doing that. No, they were not. The Sun card, we have Page of Cups, Page of Wands, the Five of Cups, Two of Cups. And then we had your energy is the 10. So you're in the Sun card here. So there's somebody, what I do see, this is proving itself right, the reading of somebody else doesn't feel safe. It's not you. One person is good. The other person is claiming that the other person's not good. And it's you collective, though, where you're fine. But this is somebody who's convinced, like fear, maybe false evidence appearing real, where they're following what they think is their intuition, but it really will lead them to some sort of karma. Why do we have the Four of Wands and the King of Coins? For the outcome of this reading, for out-of-body travel, sacrifice, feeling safe. Why the Four of Wands and the King of Coins? You are the Empress here. You are surrounded by wealth, by good health, by joy and celebration. The Four of Wands, okay? So you have beautiful things going on for you. You're very grounded, very stable. I also see that you're very abundant, okay? Now, there's definitely a page energy here that was trying to meddle into your energetic field. What they saw was just not accurate. Where this is, though, kind of, you were someone's lesson of, no, you cannot go into everybody's energetic field, and not just because you thought so, because you wanted to, because you think so, etc. Should I give an example? It says maybe. It says yes. I'll give an example of when somebody, it was actually a high priestess, told me that, you got to do an Akashic Records when it comes to that person. But here's the thing. Never in my entire life have I ever had an Akashic Records or done one of anyone who's, like, say, ever been a client of mine. Ever in my entire effing life. Ever. Because to me, that's a big no-no, and I could say that loud and proud. And I remember a high priestess that at one point in my life, because there was something going on, and they said, hey, I really recommend you do an Akashic Records then. And I said, I would rather not. And maybe it could have destroyed me, or maybe it didn't. But, in my mind at that point, it was like, well, whatever, say, clarity can be there. I truly do believe the integrity, the ethics, all of that. I'd rather maintain that when nobody's looking. And that's what happened. And I never went in. I don't know, where, and I will say that was a situation where it's like, oh, I mean, we probably should try to figure this out, but absolutely not. I would never. And so that's like the example here, though, where this is someone, say, with the Page of Cups and Five of Cups, this is someone who's not healed, who's thinking the worst. Where sometimes, through healing, right, we're able to open the third eye and see through loving truth, not through fear. Where maybe not everybody's out to get you. Maybe not everybody's looking into your Akashic Records when you're not looking. Maybe not. But this is someone who, again, are thinking the worst, This is like someone who thinks everything negative in life is black magic, or this or that. Why the Page of Cups and the Five of Cups here? We do have the Six of Wands, and we have the Knave of Swords. That's the Page of Swords here. This is someone who's very cautious about themselves. They're very paranoid about their wealth, their success, etc. So because they're paranoid, they think that somebody's always out to get them. This is hypervigilance. It's looking for every sign that doesn't exist to prove to them that they're unsafe, and that's what this is. And somebody learned a lesson, though, of be careful of trusting that story before coming to me first, or whatever, like along those lines that I'm seeing here. This is someone who is extremely, and I don't want to say extremely, this is someone who's hypervigilant. And what is hypervigilance? Hypervigilance is looking for every sign and every clue every single second of the day, and don't do that. Look for the signs, not hypervigilance. Those are two very, very different things there. Hypervigilance is like High Priestess card in reverse. And so with the Page of Swords and the Six of Wands here, this is someone who they see through the eyes of like unsafety. Everything, can be, say, pointing to destruction and to karma. Or why the Page of Swords and the Six of Wands for the Page of Cups and the Five of Cups? Emperor and then Death card. This is also, I will say this was kind of healing to this person, where this was also a situation, again, though, where they got karma of the wrong person, of like, actually, nothing was happening, you are safe. And so Death card, now it's on you. This person tried to give you a Death card. The person got the Death card because it's like, well, there was nothing to feel unsafe about. God is not granting the Death card upon the collective. The person that's trying to do it to you is getting the Death card here. Death card, the Emperor. So what's advice for out-of-body travel, sacrifice, feeling safe? You gotta feel safe and you're protected. Where in this reading, you are protected from, say, people who try to go up against you, whatever this may be, right? The spiritual attacks, etc. But if it's coming from and that's the Hades energy. But if it's coming from a place of unsafety, we're safe. Seven of Wands here. Hades, he is like he's a lot of different things. He has a lot of different names. He's the god of wealth. He rules Pluto, the 8th house, the judge of the dead, many other things. But the thing with Hades is Hades rules the back of the head or the back of the mind. You could also say the subconscious and the unconscious. And so in this situation where someone feels as if they have to protect themselves, there was no unsafety present. And so with the 10 of Cups here and the 5 of Swords, also for you collective, pick and choose your battles wisely, right? Because when you know that you're not doing anything, and I have chose as I say that, the 10 of Cups here, pick and choose your battles wisely of like, I'm not going to match your energy because I don't know where that's coming from. And that's the truth in every time, space, and dimension. And that's what Spirit's saying here. Definitely don't match anyone's energy. Somebody sabotaged here. It was an inner conflict. You had nothing but love towards them, and whatever they thought was just wrong. But for some of you, there was someone who was so paranoid about you to the point where they wanted to get people against you. They may have tried to protect themselves from you. They may have also gotten a tarot reading, some sort of divination on you in some way, shape, or form, getting a whole bunch of karma because of that. Because you weren't thinking or feeling any of those things. 10 of Cups and the 5 of Swords. It was an inner conflict. So what do we have for out-of-body travel, clairvoyance, sacrifice, feeling safe? It was an inner conflict, okay? We have inner conflict, the Dragon's Duel, morality, conscious choice. And it was actually a lesson for the other person of, here, look at your choices kind of thing. And you made the choice of, I'm not giving into the energy. Everyone has choices, and it feels like, they learned from their choices here. Okay, so dragons can resonate with you, and then we do have inner conflict here. So it was an inner conflict with the person. It had nothing to do with you, and for some of you, it's not going to resonate with everyone, but say if they did hire someone, both that person and the other person could have gotten the karma, or, this was someone that didn't realize, that they could get karma from a tarot reading or this or that. All right. So, and not to also project that, you can get karma with every tarot reading. This is truly, look at that, the seer. Okay. This is truly only when like it's wrong. Like the person's doing nothing to you. You even doing a protection against someone who's doing nothing to you. You know, that is the negativity. So that, you know, that's what this reading is saying. What's a card of advice for out-of-body travel, clairvoyance, sacrifice, feeling safe, completion, reunion, return, okay? Where, now, there could be a reunion here in some way, shape, or it does say reunion, but completion and return, it does feel like some sort of cycle was complete here. Okay, completion, reunion, return. Fireflies can also resonate with you. So yeah, you have to go through this with this person, and there's definitely something completed here. All right, a guide, a mentor. Now, what do we have for? No, it definitely, because we have telepathy twice. This could have to do with, like, say, a practitioner, where someone hired a practitioner, or the person watching me, or not, it could be the person watching me, you know, or you were dealing with, like, say, the practitioner and a person. And the, you know, again, whoever, whatever, whole roles could be reversed. Okay. But it does say telepathy and then guide, a mentor, a trustworthy ally. All right. Where now, for some of you, you need to hear that the practitioner told them no. For some of you, that someone is a trustworthy mentor, guide, or ally here. It says telepathy. You know, like the thing I said of, like, you know, you don't do those kind of things, you know, for no reason, just to spy, you know, you don't do readings on, etc. Why do we have guide and telepathy for sacrifice, out-of-body travel, feeling safe? It says time and tide. Did someone go to the ocean? We have spells and rituals here. Why do we have guide, spells, and rituals for some of you? And then we have the love card here. Not funny, haha, funny, weird. Let's see. Now, for some of you, okay, whatever this is here, it's a few different things. This could just simply be love, but some of you need to hear, and I'm laughing because I almost want to say, why are we talking about this in 2026? This is like 2018, 2017. Love spells are karmic. I don't know who needs to hear this. Don't do love spells. Whoever's listening to me. It's not cool. Don't do it. Ever. Self-love. But for some of you, like, that will do it too. Where, does this involve a love? Don't do that. That's still taking someone's free will. Even if it's in the name of love, you're still taking someone's free will. So don't do that. What do we have here for oceanic spells and rituals, love, guide, telepathy? No, someone got karma. Now, for some of you, here's the thing. And this is not going to resonate with everyone, but even if you think it's a good thing you're doing to someone, you have to ask for permission. And I say that from a place of, I'm saying that louder because it's like, spiritual bestie, what are you doing? Where for some of you, someone actually got karma from doing something that they felt as if was in the name of love. Someone got karma because this could be like, let me come into your energetic field. You've blocked me on everything, but let me come into your energetic field and let me give you some love. No, you were not supposed to go into the collective's energetic field here. And that's what I'm seeing. So interesting. What do we have here for ritual, prayer, love, ritual? Oh, Why do we have love, ritual, prayer, telepathy? Now, remember that this is a general timeless reading where this could be a whole lot of different things. Someone could have just gotten a simple tarot reading on you. They could have gone to a tarot reader to ask for advice about you. The key thing in this reading is they were not supposed to do what they did, whatever it was. Now, for some of you, they were so wrong here. This is someone who did something without your consent, and it's not cool. Why do we have optimism, aggression, love, rituals? Selflessness, humility, conscious action. And why do we have telepathy here? Someone realizes, And then why do we have sacred union, love, rituals? Perception, wisdom, because they never saw that perception. Right? Yeah, it's about perspective. Where you don't know how this is so, I can see it now. You don't know how your energy can affect someone else's, so you need to ask for permission and consent, even if it's, say, just simple Reiki, yes, prayers and things like that. And Spirit's not saying to not do that, but somebody learned a lesson how even in what you think is in a good sense, Spirit's saying no. Where for some of you, in general, from the beginning of the reading, this is someone in this reading who is a little bit naive. They feel like they're innocent. And, from their perspective, it's like, oh, I don't want anything bad to happen. I don't know what's going on. I need some help, but just because green beans are good for everybody and our vegetables doesn't mean you're not allergic to green beans. And just for some of you, that's what this is. Why do we have... for some of you... Oh, heck yeah, that's why they got karma. Why do we have true prosperity perception? That's why they got karma. There you go, the dragon's duel. Letting go, discernment, inner conflict. For some of you, someone did some sort of spell work, prayer, whatever it is of, that person needs to heal their heart. But for some of you, they tried the thing of no, they need to focus on their heart. They don't need to focus on money. And Spirit tore their butt apart. That's what I'm seeing here. There is someone who felt as if they had some sort of control over you. For some of you, like a handler. There's someone who felt as if you had to be a little bit more humble. And so they did something. It was a prayer or a ritual. They did something. And they said, it's about time that the collective releases connection to the material. I know they have to go back home to the heart. And they got karma. Why? You have true prosperity. Here goes the Hades card as I say that, though. So when it comes to Hades, Hades is actually very complex and has many names, not just Hades. When it comes to Hades, if something is crystallized, it's true to you. What do I mean by that? So Hades blesses, and I won't say his devotees or his people, but Hades blesses those who've done the healing work. Where the only reason why Hades could even grant you with something is because your subconscious and unconscious matches it. What is crystallized in the mental plane, it materializes in the material plane. So if there's something that you have in material, it's only because your subconscious and your unconscious match it. And so what I see here is someone who They felt as if they were like the chosen one to come your way. And nope, it's time for the collective to come back to their heart. You don't have to worry about those things. Release the money, release the fear, but none of that. Ultimately, that was not written in your soul destiny. And that's where they effed up. That's not written in my soul destiny. And so that's, where they didn't see maybe that mystery school perspective, right? Because this is a mystery school perspective, an ancient wisdom perspective. They didn't see that perception. This is someone who just felt like, as long as I think it's good, then my way is the way. And you kind of taught someone a lesson of one way is never the way. There is never a one-way truth in life other than, say, the omnipresence of God, when we all come home to that and can see God in everything. When we look in all directions, we can always see the omnipresence together, right? But yeah, that's what I see here, where someone did, but they did a spell for you to like heal and come back to your heart, for you to be humble. And they felt as if like they were the chosen one that was sent to you to do that. No, they weren't. And spirit, like, they got karma because of it. The prosperity that you have is true. The joy you have is true. The money you have is true. And you do have an open heart, which is, yeah, this person learned a big lesson here. Why do we have love and sacred union? You didn't have to do anything. Trust and strategy, the chess king or queen. Maybe they had a dream about you that wasn't true. We also have illusions here. And then we have non-action. They felt, for some of you, they felt as if you were entitled. Like, look at that. Who do they think they are? They think they're a prince or a princess. They think they're a king or the queen. But you've been crowned because you did the work, but you actually don't think that way of yourself. And so that's ultimately what this reading is showing. So what's final advice for astral travel, out-of-body travel, sacrifice, and feeling safe? Prophecy. Why sacrifice, feeling safe? Yeah, we have shining soul, the radiant self, illumination, and then truth. Yeah, so this person was destined to learn a lesson with you. It was prophecy, okay? And it would kind of be, yeah, like a lesson for both of you. All right, but you're showing up here as the light, okay, with your shining soul. And that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates in a positive way. I'm sending you all so much love and so many blessings to your day. Bye for now.